Hello everyone, welcome back for day 2 of the annual book sale. Day 3, tomorrow I'll be heading in to see what is left for Half Price Day. They had record-breaking numbers of people. I saw afterwards when I got home, it felt unusually busy, it was crazy. There were over 400 people when they opened that went in. I mean, it was nuts yesterday, so there's a lot more left than I was actually expecting. I actually found a couple of stacks of some decent science fiction and fantasy, and a few things in with what was left with the DVDs and stuff. I found a couple of decent things for a second day. It was good, and I'll go back tomorrow. Really not sure how much is going to be left, but Half Price Day kind of pick through whatever is left there. And found a few, like this, one of the Indigo books, Inferno, a few sequels or volumes that were in series that I found yesterday. There's just so many people. There were stacks and areas that I just could not get to. The Dragon Knight, A Child of Elvish, Orbit #1, a sci-fi anthology. A couple of these Sharon Shin books, they kind of got mixed in here, but a handful of those. And another one of this Mindy Lynn Klasky series, so I have now 5 of those. I grabbed 4 of those yesterday. Then we have Pamela Sargent's The Shore of Women, The Tree of Swords and Jewels, Dark Magic, Forbidden Magic, so you have the God Wars books 1 and 2, The Blue Sword. I kind of want to look at this one because for some reason this cover I recognize. Maybe I saw this long ago in a library or something, but I read the back and I'm like, I don't remember ever reading this, but this is one I want to look at and see if maybe that's one I want to at least check out. Just seems familiar. Hawk and Fisher, Winner Takes All. Don't find that series very frequently. Not Without Sorcery, The Moon of Gomrath, The Terry, The Man Who Wanted Stars. Another one of these Sharon Shin. Keep those together over here. Then we have Mission of Magic, The Spirit of Dorsai, Eye Weapon. Interesting cover. Call of Madness, Isaac Asimov's Neanderthals, Storyteller and the John. First thought it was going to be the Storyteller and the Jinn, but what it looks like, but it looks like the Storyteller and the John. Jann. Anvil of Stars, Druids. A couple hardcovers. We have Pleasure Model. It's like a sci-fi book. I'm not sure if it's by the cover. It looks, possibly erotic, but I don't know. It's heavy metal pulp, so it's interesting. That was one worth grabbing. A couple of magazines. Actually had some anthology magazines. A lot of them were really beat up and weren't that great. Some like analog science fiction, but they were really not great shape. But I found a handful of these Galaxy releases. Really cool artwork. Some vintage science fiction short story collections, and they've writers like Paul Anderson and Larry Niven, so some well-known people. Some really cool artwork on these, of course. Luna 1. So these Galaxy ones. Kids books, again, there really wasn't a lot. I'm going to really go through, I think, more tomorrow on Half Price Day. That was probably the most empty I've ever seen the kids books section ever in all the years I've been to the book sale, and there was a lot more on the individually priced side, so I'm going to check more tomorrow. But one of these, the Guardians books, Exile, which I think I have a couple of these ready for a lot, and I don't think this is one of them that we have. That was about it there, and then I found an old Dragnet from the 60s version of Dragnet. You can tell by Colonel Potter there on the cover. Kids book. So that's a pretty interesting find there. And the other thing in the kids' books was this Star Trek The Next Generation Warped, an engaging guide to the never-aired 8th season. That's pretty interesting. The back is pretty funny too. In the basement of Star Trek archives, behind shelves of USS Enterprise models, bags of wigs, and bins of plastic phasers, sits a dusty cardboard box. Inside is a pile of VHS tapes that contain never-before-seen episodes and behind-the-scenes footage for something truly amazing. The world thinks there are only 7 seasons of TNG, but there's one more secret season. Actually, not really. But that didn't stop Mike McMahon, creator of the popular Twitter account at TNG Season 8, from making a guide full of the real Star Trek TNG Season 8. What in the world is this? So it's really just some guys like fan fiction Season 8 ideas for TNG with a published guide for this non-existent. Something odd. I had to check this out. And for, I think it was $1. Yeah, it was $1. So I'm like, what? I gotta see this. This is bizarre. And then a couple of things in the DVDs that I didn't see or missed yesterday. There's still a lot of DVDs there, but again, it was a lot of the ones where they have a bunch of seasons of really common low-dollar shows like CIS and NCIS and CSI and that kind of stuff, Law and Order, ones that I feel like tomorrow people are going to scoop up for Half Price Day. But we had one of the Tartan Asian extreme horror movies, Prey. There's another one there, but the disc was incredibly scratched up. That's all I know. Got that. A couple more Warner Archives. A few sealed ones. We have Virginia Mayo and Alan Ladd in The Iron Mistress. So a sealed Warner Archive. Gotta grab that. And Katharine Hepburn in The Little Minister. We've seen this one a couple times. I sold this one. Betty Davis in Juarez. One that was open that I want to check out. It might end up being for me, depends on how much I like them. But we have two 30s pictures with Joan Blondell, I've Got Your Number, and Havana Widows. Those gold-digging Havana Widows are in town. So I want to check those out because I love anything from, so it's 33 and 34, it looks like. Anything from the 30s I'll at least give a shot, and I like Joan Blondell, so I'm going to watch this one myself and see if it's any good, and if it's not something I'd watch again, I'll go in the store. And then one that looks good too, this is a 1935 science fiction picture, Death from a Distance. Gotta check that out. It's an oldies.com alpha video release, so I know I'm in for some really terrible quality, and I'm gonna watch it on like our smaller CRT rather than the projector because it's gonna look awful. But it seems interesting. One that seems like something I might enjoy. We have a murder is committed at the Forest Park Planetarium during a lecture by the celebrated astronomer, Professor Ernest Einfeld. The fatal shot is fired in semi-darkness while a distinguished audience observes the stars projected on the dome above them. A hard-boiled homicide detective trades verbal jabs with a wisecracking gal reporter. How much more stereotypical 30s can you get? That's fantastic. As they attempt to unravel the mysterious killing, the investigation uncovers shady suspects, ex-cons, eccentric scientists, illegal aliens, goofy gumshoes, surprising revelations, switched identities, and death threats before the shocking conclusion. It sounds like it's going to be every generic 30s like stereotype in a movie, and it's probably going to be great. So I'm going to check that out. So that was today's find. Pretty good for a second day, and I'll be back after Half Price Day to kind of dig through the bones of what is left at the sale. Hopefully there's still some like hidden treasures to be found.